What's up, fight fans? This is Slim Olokpe with Slim Olokpe Boxing. So, Anthony Joshua, the former king of the heavyweight division, has faced setback after setback in recent years. After a dominant reign which included unifying 3 world titles, Anthony Joshua is now in a race to reclaim his old legacy. But just when he thought he will get a shot at redemption, his team has shut down his plans. Anthony Joshua is pleading for a rematch with Daniel Dubois, but the answer from his team was a resounding no. So why are they stopping him? Let's dive into it. Joshua's journey in boxing is definitely the stuff of legends. He rise from humble beginnings to become a 2-time world heavyweight champion. Of course, he had his problems along the way, like the shocking upset against Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019. But he came back stronger and he reclaimed his title in a triumphant rematch. But yet, again, when it came to Alexander Usyk, things took a different turn. Even though Joshua's 2 fights with Usyk showed his resilience, the results were not in his favor. And after 24 tough rounds, Anthony Joshua was left without his belt and he was left with a heavy heart. Usyk went on to solidify his legacy and he even went on to defeat Tyson Fury to become the undisputed heavyweight king of the division. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua was left to rebuild and to contemplate retirement. But as a rugged man, Joshua still made a comeback, stacking up 4 straight wins only to face another devastating setback against Daniel Dubois. And the loss to Daniel Dubois hit Anthony Joshua very hard. After the fight, there is only one thing on Anthony Joshua's mind, and that is revenge. Because after that fight, a lot of boxing fans are calling for a rematch. People are saying they want to see a rematch. They don't think that was AJ. They believe Anthony Joshua could beat Dubois, because not a lot of people was giving Dubois a chance before the fight. I was one of the few people that believe that Dubois can actually pull off an upset. I even say that if Dubois beat Anthony Joshua, for me, it's not an upset because I know that Dubois is very heavy-handed and Anthony Joshua is just right in front of you to be hit. There is no way you won't land a punch on Anthony Joshua because he's not that elusive. He's in front of you. So Daniel Dubois, a heavy-handed guy, and he is a guy that is known to take 2 punches in order to land one. So I'm sure that AJ will be touching Dubois. But I'm also sure that Dubois is going to land one of his own. And if he lands down one of his own, I don't know how Anthony Joshua is going to react to it. So that was my fear going into the fight. And I was proven right in the fight because Anthony Joshua showed that he couldn't take a punch. So for me, Daniel Dubois coming out on top in that fight was not an upset. But even Anthony Joshua himself thinks it's an upset. And he said he wants a revenge and he has been telling his team that he wants the rematch with Dubois. According to his promoter, Eddie Hearn, he said Anthony Joshua was ready to prove himself against Dubois and he was ready to show that he could overcome the fighter who handed him such a bitter defeat. But when he told his team to allow him to fight Dubois on February 22, his team definitely showed serious concern, telling him that he will not be ready for that fight in February. Their reason was they said he has an injury on his shoulder. And we have seen now that the injury that he had on his shoulder was not really an injury. It was just a tear from constant usage of the shoulder and it's nothing serious to the point that even if he wants to fight in February, he can go into that fight in February. It's not a problem. But looking at how he lost in the first fight, his team are not showing enough confidence in him and they believe that Anthony Joshua still needs more rest even if he wants to go again into a fight with Dubois. They think he should let Dubois fight someone else for now and he can go into that rematch when he's fully ready to actually take on Daniel Dynamite Dubois. So Eddie Hearn also revealed that Anthony Joshua's team held an awkward call with his medical advisors and trainer Ben Davison to discuss Anthony Joshua's condition, and they were all blunt, saying that fighting in February was not an option. They said with Anthony Joshua carrying a few injuries, even though it's nothing major, they said at the same time it is still enough to hinder his ability to train and prepare at 100%. So the team are recommending a longer recovery time with the earliest return possibly in May or in June. So as determined as Anthony Joshua was, he was forced to accept their verdict because if he went in again without proper preparation, and he ended up losing again to Daniel Dubois. They believe that that second loss could actually mean the end of Anthony Joshua's career. And in my opinion, they have a point too, because their job is to protect Anthony Joshua. Even though we as boxing fans, we want Anthony Joshua to come and prove that he is still what we believe he is. We want him to come out there and beat Daniel Dubois. But at the same time, they are thinking of the man that is paying their salary. They definitely want the best for him, and they want him in good health and good shape. So Anthony Joshua's team is not just being cautious. They are also looking at the big picture. And as Eddie Hearn put it, he said they've got one chapter left and they need to get it 100% spot on. So this next fight could be career defining for Anthony Joshua. And they know that he needs to be physically and mentally perfect if he wants to avenge his loss and regain his standing in the heavyweight division. The team is still determined to make sure that everything aligns perfectly for Anthony Joshua's return. And the question is, will this extra time really make the difference, or has the best of Anthony Joshua already passed? Because many people believe that Anthony Joshua's prime has passed. Even boxing legend Lennox Lewis didn't hold back in his assessment of Joshua's career. In a recent interview, he claimed that we've already seen the best of Anthony Joshua and that a rematch with Daniel Dubois would be a struggle for AJ. So for Lewis, he believed that Anthony Joshua's future looks uncertain. Joshua, however, is not ready to accept this narrative. In his mind, he believed that he still have unfinished business in boxing, and he still have a point to prove, and he still have a legacy to cement. So he's prepared to push through the challenges, silence the critics, and show that he is still capable of standing tall in the ring. But the question still remains that will he succeed? Because he's going to be going into the ring with people that are confident in beating him. Now that they know that Anthony Joshua could not take a punch, every opponent is going to be facing now will be coming prepared, because they are all looking to shine with Anthony Joshua. So definitely the challenges in front of him are still tough challenges. So will Anthony Joshua be able to succeed even with his determination? And because of this, fans and analysts have mixed opinions. Some believe that Anthony Joshua's hunger and his drive to prove himself could be his ultimate weapon in the rematch. Others agree with Lennox Lewis that Anthony Joshua's days of glory are truly behind him. So this rematch, if it ever happens, will be one of the most anticipated fights in heavyweight boxing, because boxing fans around the world are waiting and they are hopeful that Anthony Joshua's story is not over just yet. They believe that if Anthony Joshua can return in peak form and take down Daniel Dubois, it would mark one of the greatest comebacks in the sport. But until then, all we can do is wait and see. But boxing fans, what do you think? Will Anthony Joshua's extra time out of the ring be key to defeating Daniel Dubois? Or are Lennox Lewis and others right in their doubts about Anthony Joshua's future? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.